Welcome to Focused Fire Chat. Explore together.
Welcome back for episode 71 of Focus Fire Chat, recorded live on February 3rd, 2017 on twitch.tv. Big shout out to the live chat here. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us. This is your host, Blue Crew 86. Alongside me, we have the man who just couldn't listen to our amazing Extra Lore episode this month and who decided to make like a guardian and shave off his beard. Rip Van Justin Sane 0516. Justin, you get some good sleep lately with that baby face of yours?
What? Sorry. What? Is there a show? We're doing it live. No, yeah, I got some really good sleep. I was playing an ocarina and I was trying to perfect my craft and then I fell asleep. I played an Infinite Sleepness song and I don't know Zelda. Yeah, I fell asleep. Sorry about that, guys. I was really bummed too to not get to hang out with the special guest we had. It sounded like you guys had it under control.
It's okay. I'm actually more offended that you shaved off your beard, but we'll let that pass.
There is a lingering effect that still haunts me. Oh, bear in mind. I like to think that the beard has moved on to another host because after I went and then I went to clean up, all the hair was gone. So I think it just kind of crawled. And I think someone else is wearing it.
Oh, we also have with us Mel. I hear you're in the middle of some calibrations over there. How are those coming?
It's still calibrating. I still have more calibrations. Yes. What are we trying to allude to? Are we trying to allude to Mass Effect? Because that's the only thing I'm thinking of. Okay, all right.
Krogan.
Krogan.
Hello.
I'm just saying the things that I know from Mass Effect.
That's like the
Krogans
one
before Hogan's. Like, hello. So, yeah, I'm excited. I've been I think the last time I was on, I said I wanted to play it. I have not done that because I've been excessively busy. I have gotten a small fraction of time, probably a grand total of 5 hours in the last month of some Witcher, and then maybe like equal amounts of that of some Overwatch. But that's kind of it. But I'm really excited because it comes out the day after my birthday. So
yay!
That's really exciting. It's super exciting. Really excited. I'm really excited. I saw a picture of the new Krogan today. Next to him was also a very dashing Turian. I'm excited.
In case no one knew, Mel likes the Krogans.
I like the Krogans. I am very fond of a very certain Turian. I'm just not naming any names, Garrus. But yes, I'm excited. I'm excited for Mass Effect. Yeah.
And then did you say you had something else you wanted to?
I did. And I haven't really talked about it much on social media, but why I was away the last week I was helping some of our good clan mates get married. And they're really good friends. And Zach's my boyfriend. Him and I were he was best man and I was maid of honor in the wedding. And the day before, after 8 years, Zach proposed to me. So now we're
Yay! Congratulations!
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so it'll be 8 years in a couple days. So we're excited. I had no idea.
Those are the best. Those are the best ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. So that's all I had.
I've got my own tux. It's a bow tie. Is that a problem?
Is that all there is, a bow tie? Or is there more?
No, it's a bow tie tux. I'm not a Chippendales dancer, Mel. Although I've been told I could be. No.
I don't know. I don't know what you do in your spare
off
time.
The mustache. That might.
This is true. This is true. Maybe you need to shave more, and then maybe you really will be a Chippendales sir. But anyways, Blue, take it away. We're getting off right now.
Way to go! Best podcast ever.
Man. Well,
Mel's getting married.
Justin's very excited. He's going to go cry in the corner. You okay over there, Justin?
Yeah.
Okay. Green had some things come up that require her attention, but we're hoping that she'll be back next week and ready for the normal shenanigans. And in the guest co-host spotlight tonight, we have our friend coedbeast. Coed, how are you doing tonight?
I'm fantabulous.
Not frabulous?
No, not frabulous. That would imply kind of crazy hunter person.
And it's frabjous.
Frabjous. We're just frabjous, guys.
They just make up words. It drives me insane.
Oh, then I should really be a hunter then. Crap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you
See?
should.
See, we've already won. We haven't even started, and we already won. I think
Do we even want to keep going?
Yeah, I think we could. You want to play the outro? Let's go.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, that was the
Take it home, Randy.
Wow, that was the fastest podcast you've done. A+, guys.
Woohoo!
Yes. Real quick, Coed, can you tell us where people can find you if they wanted to chat more with you about tonight's topic or anything else?
Certainly. So I'm on Discord as coedbeast. Pretty much anywhere on the interwebs you can search for coedbeast and I will come up. I'm also a co-host of a new podcast called Rabbit Hole Radio. If anybody wants a invite to our Discord, just hit me up and I'll get you on. It's all about spin foil and theory crafting, and the crazier the better. That's how we like it over there.
Justin is a very big supporter.
Oh, just wait till tomorrow, Justin. Your head might explode.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, when do you guys record live?
So we don't record live. We're not special like that, but we do record every other week.
Okay, cool.
Because we like to have enough time
to do
research
special.
and
It's
stuff.
dumb.
I wish we could record live, but sadly, my cheap little laptop can barely run Discord and voice meter. So anything
Who
else?
was it that said, "Oh, you do"? Someone told us, "Oh, you do it live. How brave!"
Good for you.
We've been told that a couple times, but that's half the fun. We've on the episodes that we don't do live, it's really weird because I'm so used to having the chat scrolling and having that chat going to interact with, and when you don't have that, it's like I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah.
Here,
I'm going to throw up an invite into chat real quick for Rabbit Hole.
All right, and then we'll definitely include that in the show notes as well. The topic of today's chat is going to be an exploration of the exotic Warlock armor that we have in Destiny currently. Before we get into that, however, I do have a few housekeeping notes. In our last chat, we looked at the exotic Hunter armor. If you missed that and have any interest in hearing our thoughts, please be sure to check out www.focusfirechat.com for archives of all previous chats, as well as links to all the other aspects of Focus Fire Chat out in the internets. If you don't mind, please give us some feedback on iTunes to let us know how we're doing. As many of you already know, Focus Fire Chat is a cross-community gathering where the intent is to offer a week-long, in-depth view of a particular subject from within the lore of Destiny and other games. This chat begins every Tuesday morning and runs until the following Tuesday, with topics decided by the group via a poll that begins every Friday and ends on the Tuesday morning of the new chat. Every Friday at about 10 p.m. Central, we get together to stream a recap of the previous week's chat for those who are unable to participate. Please be sure to also give some support to the other podcasts in the Guardian Radio Network, found at theguardiansofdestiny.com. These include Guardian Radio, the official podcast for the Guardians of Destiny, Guardian One, and Ghosts and Echoes, which also has the Destiny audio Grimoire. Our next chat's going to be an exploration of the lore surrounding the exotic Titan armor that we currently have access to in the game. With that, let's go ahead and pull up some information on these powerful garments that our warlocks don to protect themselves from the dangerous libraries that they frequent. Lorebot, let's go.
Query Grimoire database. Results found. Displaying on screen.
All right. So, starting in alphabetical order, I believe we have the first of the Warlock exotic helmets, which is the apotheosis veil. Sorry, talk much. The apotheosis veil. Most helmets protect the mind from the universe, not this one. So yeah, Coed, enlighten me. I have this one. I have this one on my Warlock, and yes, I have a Warlock. But what does it do?
Yeah, don't know because I don't use it like ever. This is one of those exotics that I would actually have to look it up to find out what it does.
Well,
I don't use it for anything. I can tell you I can count on one hand the amount of exotics that I use on a daily basis in my Warlock.
Is one of them Featherhead?
No.
According to our really awesome mind map,
I play Trials.
according to our really awesome mind map, where we do post it afterwards, so if you guys want to see this information, it's also on there. But it says that it gives you immediately God, I can't speak right now. Immediately regenerates health on activating your super.
Yeah, it's private reserves.
Okay.
Wow, that's pretty useless.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
especially considering Stormcaller. That does
Can
that.
you kill one?
Well, and this one was added in vanilla too, so keep that in mind as well. Some of the vanilla.
was?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one.
I
We're
don't
gonna-
know.
We're gonna look it up. Fact
looking
check
it
Blue.
up.
To the internets.
Yeah, this is the scuba diving helmet.
All right.
I win.
Yes. So it's pretty much
You do
useless.
You do win.
The only one that's probably more useless than this is the next one.
Well, and that we'll agree. But I mean, I would just say
great
that to
salesman,
everything on here. So, but real quick, just as what we did last week, our good friend Rhino666, he does the lore cards every Thursday over on Twitter, and then also I believe he posted the majority of those either on his own site or with the Mulehorn group on their site. But he was kind enough to give me access to his database for his trivia facts about some of these items. And he brings up the point that apotheosis is basically deification. It's literally to make divine or raising one to godlike status. This is actually you find this in the origin of the Egyptian practice to deify all dead pharaohs as Osiris. Once a pharaoh passed away, they were believed to begin the apotheosis. This ascension was basically the process of one's mortal self reaching enlightenment and the transferring of the soul into the heavens. And that's actually, it's not just the Egyptians. It's a very, very, very common belief across many cultures. But yeah, so that's where the kind of the concept came from. Another note here is that many kings and leaders have depiction of themselves drawn as artists by reaching this heavenly state. The one that comes immediately on the top of my head is Napoleon. Napoleon did this quite frequently. And that's also where you get the famous left hand inside the breast pocket of coats. That's actually Napoleon actually kind of started that trend. But that's another kind of thing that actually in history that was done. He did have a note here about the serpent's tail being the symbol of rebirth, simply because it's kind of like the Ouroboros. I'm not sure on apotheosis exactly where that was going, but yes. So there's that. I don't know if is there a serpent on there?
On the veil?
So. On the veil? I don't think so. I don't know where that trivia note was from, but yeah. So that's the trivia I have for this one.
Also, though, I wanted to say there is another definition for apotheosis, and I don't think it's the one that the name is referring to, but I just thought it was worth throwing it out there. It's actually the highest point in development of something.
Right. Yeah.
it would actually be the exact opposite of the word nadir, which I thought was funny, but which would be the lowest point.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
development of something. So, yeah. So but though having said that, I just wanted to put that out there just so we could have all the information. But I actually do think that the apotheosis veil, just looking at the flavor text, I think that it is leaning more towards the deification than it is that.
That would fit,
Yeah, and the only other thing I'm thinking too is the use of the word veil is very, very symbolic in a lot of mythologies and religions as kind of the separating factor between the natural and the supernatural. So if you have an apotheosis veil, you're actually literally trying to pierce the veil and become more. You become divine, and in order to do that, you would be exposing yourself to knowledge that's beyond your capacity to understand, probably, which comes into the flavor text. Most helmets protect the mind from the universe, not this one. This one opens your mind to the universe and helps you transcend that veil, thus performing apotheosis upon the wearer, which is kind of where I think that's when I read that's kind of where the flavor text leads me to think they're going.
Wait, warlocks want to be omniscient?
Yeah, no, they're not. They're not like that. So, I mean, do you think we got that one? Everyone kind of agrees that it's useless.
Yep.
All right. If you need to dive into the ocean, the apotheosis veil might be of some use to you. It looks like a scuba helmet.
Make sure your ghost brings a rebreather.
All right. Do you want to jump to the astrocyte verse? This one I like. I like how this one looks. I'll give you
yes.
Okay. How do you say the name one more time? Because I'm really bad with astrocyte. Is that okay? Astrocyte verse. Oh god, I cannot speak today. I'm so sorry, guys. I did not come here prepared.
I'm the one that's still pulling up the map. Professional guys.
Yeah. So the idiocism, I can't say that word. I'm sorry, I butchered that. Thank you, idiocosm. I don't know what that word means, but sure. Okay, I can kind of guess. But anyways, contained within this helm transforms the wearer's head from flesh and or exoneurons to the pure raw stuff of thought. And it does this. It has the exotic part of teleportation. So it reduces blink cooldown and increases blink travel distance. This was also added into the Taken King. Did you want me to go further into the meaning of the name, or did you?
Yeah. Do you want to, or okay. Whoever wants to, go for it.
I can keep reading. I'm fine with if you want me to keep.
There you go.
All right. So, astrocyte, the star-shaped cells within a brain and spinal cord. That's where that name comes from. That's what that actual word means. They maintain the functionality, providing nutrients and repairing damage to the brain. And when you actually look at this helmet, it actually looks like a bunch of neurons and different electro currents flowing through the brain. So like you see a lot of those pictures and stuff, and when you look at it, that's exactly what it looks like. It also means star shape. It's from the Greek astron, aka origin of astronomy as well. There's the ancient idea of, quote, the universe was created and contained within the mind. So
hold on, we're getting corrected, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like this is one of the ones that got updated in the game. They changed the exotic perk, and I pulled in old information, so apologies on that one. It's not teleportation. Guys. I believe it is actually move to survive. And that basically gives you a temporary increase to recovery on blink. So it
literally does nothing.
Yeah, yes,
it literally does nothing. So allow me to elaborate on this.
Okay, I'm a hunter, I do not know what this does.
Well,
Take it
as a
away.
hunter, you know that we now have we lose a point of recovery when we select blink now. Because, Titans don't blink. They got dry eye. Anyway.
Man, go cry me a river. Like
They can't. They can't.
You get a
They can't. They don't
shield?
blink. They can't cry you over.
I don't get a shield when I charge in, but you don't hear me complaining.
So
right,
Julian
whatever.
BP57K is going nuts in here saying that it's 10 frames for the recovery boost, which is literally the amount of time that you're blinking. Like you get done with your blink and that's already done. There is no boost. The recovery does nothing. You have to time it perfectly. It's an exotic shard, guys. It's an exotic shard. That's what Astrocyte Verse is good for.
But it looks
Had
pretty.
they kept it, I would have loved to see the perk the way it originally was, but it would have completely broken the game. Having extended blink and reduced cooldown, it would be blink shotgun all over again for every Warlock in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I see why they nerfed it, and I hate them for doing it because I was so looking forward. I saw this helmet in the database, and I was like, "Yes, Warlocks have power."
No,
And then it went away, and then they went, "Nope." Boop. It's like Warlocks are like the fusion rifles. We're just going to keep nerfing them just because they're there.
that sounds like a good idea for me. I don't know about you guys, but
That's my rant about Astrocyte Verse, and yeah.
What do we know? Do we know what an exoneuron is?
an exoneuron.
Yeah. Because it says the ideacosm contained within this helm transforms the wearer's head from flesh and or exoneurons to the pure raw stuff of thought. I'm thinking exoneurons are synthetic neurons in an exo.
Yeah,
Well,
because it says and or from flesh and or exo. I think it's literally exo neurons.
Yeah, to the pure stuff, the raw stuff of thought. What could that be? If you really want to break it down, the raw stuff of thought is our electrical impulses, right?
Yeah.
If you really want to break it down,
yeah, it's just
all the way down. Then look at the helmet, and
because if you think of exos as having something similar to a positronic brain, that would make sense that they would have exoneurons.
Mm-hmm.
At least in my head, that would make sense.
Yeah.
It's definitely a cool looking helmet, though.
It is.
So pretty.
It reminds me of a prettier hood of Malak.
Yeah.
The hunter.
Like Malak before he got on the darkness.
Uh-huh.
I won't say what the Malak helmet looks like to me.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh,
Blue,
God. Okay.
Blue, do you want to take Featherhead or shall I?
Real quick, I just wanted to make sure, did we fully talk about the idiocosm?
No, because we got sidetracked
okay.
on what the actual perks were.
Okay, so I know, Mel, you kind of made a comment about that. So an idiocosm is actually kind of it's a theoretical / philosophical concept. It was a term coined by an individual named Fritz Zwicky, and he actually calls it the idiocosm. And this is literally the space of all possible ideas. So any potential variable is contained within a space for theoretical research and or discovery of an undefined plane of thought. So basically what this is pointing at is the Netherverse. That psychomutable Netherverse that we've all talked about with regards to the Hive. That's what this is kind of pointing to.
somewhere, Bife just shot up in his bed. And I was like, I'm needed.
I heard another verse.
But so I mean, and it also does really kind of make sense because idiocosm. It's the cosmos. It's a environment of ideas. It's a helmet. Mm-hmm. It would make sense that your idiocosm. I mean, technically, you could make the argument from a theoretical standpoint that an individual idiocosm exists for each individual person within the psychological construct of their brain, whether that be physical or psychological, which is arguably not 100% physical. That is the idiocosm for every single individual. So that's
their headspace, so to speak.
Yes, their headspace. And this is what this is saying is that it's literally transforming your brain to pure thought. So, I mean, that's kind of disturbing at the same time as really cool, because if that's possible, what you're doing is you're also amplifying your capacity to think, because everything that you're converting into pure thought is allowing that idiocosm to become more and more expansive. So you have more computing power within that.
Okay.
Which makes sense for a Warlock helmet.
Yeah.
So, okay. You want to go with feathers?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to?
No. You take it. This is like your favorite helmet ever.
Yeah. Yeah. This was the first exotic I got for a Warlock. I was playing my hunter, but that's neither here nor there. But I kept it because it's such a cool helmet. It's like the only one for the Warlock I actually like. The Featherhead. It's called Light Beyond Nemesis. And the flavor text reads, "These are the wings of Pratya Samutpada, the truth of interconnectedness, the everywhere light." This particular helmet, in kind of keeping with the, with the gist of the flavor text, and you'll have to excuse me, I don't have it pulled up on the armor yet, but it actually allows you to create more orbs for your teammates, which kind of highlights the interconnectedness for me. Mm-hmm. It being a Warlock, I know Coed likes this helmet. He's got to, right? At least for Crota's End, you had to have been wearing this Crota's End, right?
Why I had self-res.
Ah, darn it.
See, during the early days when it was, hey, let's all die at the bridge and have the Warlock self-res, I always went, oh, me.
Mm-hmm. So you were a Praxic Fire guy.
Oh, absolutely. Up until they showed me how to become Palpatine, and then, yeah.
Yeah.
Unlimited power. Anyways.
No.
No.
It's limited, sir. There's a cooldown.
Where were we? Yeah, I mean, it's nice. You get that one extra orb, and the quicker revive times was good before they nerfed revive times in trials.
Mm-hmm. So this is the Warlock's answer to the crest.
Yes.
And this, we did have a small conversation in chat about how it was like very short, maybe a couple lines, about how the Titans and the Hunters have the crest of Alpha Lupi, but the Warlocks have the Light Beyond Nemesis. And I had the thought of, well, what if Alpha Lupi was a Warlock and was the Light Beyond Nemesis? And that's why this helmet is different from everyone else's.
Or if the Light Beyond Nemesis is the Traveler. Not necessarily that it's a Warlock, but so real quick from just some trivia knowledge here, the 1984 Nemesis, that's a hypothetical star that's believed to orbit the sun beyond our solar system, and is actually here's a fun fact, is actually responsible for mass extinctions. So if it's the
That's
light
not fun.
beyond
Yeah,
Nemesis.
I remember that.
So if it's
Yeah.
light beyond Nemesis, and Nemesis is the star that is actually rotating the sun in a really, do not ask me how that works, because my understanding of gravity would be that it would have to be within the solar system, but I am not going to even continue this because I'll get yelled at. I can just
Come
give
on.
you trivia. I can
Well,
just
if
give you
you-
trivia. I'll give you surface trivia. But yeah, so I mean, I always kind of read it as, you know, the crest of Alpha Lupi was always the crest of the Alpha Lupi. And now that I'm thinking
But-
about it, isn't Alpha Lupi a star that's beyond the Nemesis star? So it would be light beyond Nemesis.
I have no idea.
I'm gonna have to look
didn't
this
get
up
that
now.
far into astronomy.
But
But if
Actually, well, oh no, go ahead.
Going back to your whole gravity thing, if you look at gravity like electromagnetic waves, it doesn't have to be that close. As you know, the sun's going to throw gravity, I don't know, crazy far as waves go, and it wouldn't have to pass something else of similar polarity, I guess. I don't know. Wouldn't have to pass that close to interrupt the sun's own gravity field and cause things to go.
But no one can hear you scream in space. They said that. They said that
they said
in that movie. No, that's completely a. I'm sorry.
We were going good. We were chugging along, and there comes the penny on the tracks.
Which, yes, no. Alpha Lupi is a star. It's the brightest star in the southern constellation of Lupus. So that, I believe, makes it past the Nemesis star of which you beyond it. Just looking at this celestial map that I'm looking at. But I actually had kind of, to break away from the light beyond Nemesis real quick, I had some thoughts on Pratya Samutpada, if we're ready for that.
yes.
Yeah.
So, oh Lord, this is the part where I just get completely eviscerated. This comes, it's Sanskrit. Well, it's actually not Sanskrit. It's a Buddhist concept, but it's commonly translated as dependent origination or dependent arising. And it states the concept of Pratya Samutpada states that all dharmas or things arise in dependence on other things. So if this exists, that exists. And if this ceases to exist, that also ceases to exist. All things are interconnected. All things are dependent on one another. That and the flavor text for this helmet it strikes me that this helmet is almost like a microcosm of the interconnectedness of the light and the dark. Even the name, the light beyond Nemesis, it kind of makes me think that this helmet is almost symbolic of the
symmetry of the light.
Yeah, exactly. The symmetry of the light and the balance
dun.
of light and dark. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah, you can't, but don't say that too loudly. The speaker might kick you out of the tower.
The speaker has no power here.
He has no power. That drooling buffoon. But yeah, what would you think about that, Blue?
No, that actually is along the same lines as what I was thinking, because they say the truth of interconnectedness, the everywhere light. You know, I have my own pet theory on what exactly light is. I'm not going to get into that because we don't have enough time. But you know, the entire concept of the dependent arising and the chain of causes, it makes sense, especially with the world or the paradigm that Destiny exists within. And I know Rhino actually pulled out as well the 12, I think it's Nidanas. It's a concept of a 12-fold chain that describes the chain of endless rebirth in Samsara. And that's kind of where that, if that exists, if this exists, then that exists. If this ceases to exist, that also ceases to exist. Kind of that concept really kind of gets formalized. And my understanding is basically it boils down to the life you live now creates the next. So I kind of think it's similar to karma. Justin, am I correct in that?
Yeah.
It's not the same,
Well,
but it's related.
That's kind of a reincarnation type.
Right.
Which is somewhat intertwined with karma, but not necessarily.
It like conceptually, I think, is similar.
Yeah.
I'm kind of going out on a limb because I'm not very familiar with that particular.
I always thought that your karma in this life decided what you came back as in the next life.
That's what I mean is like
That's what I'm saying. They're intertwined concepts, but they're not the same concept. It's not like you say karma isn't reincarnation. But yeah. There.
But yeah, no, and I actually, I really do. Like I said, I really do think that this is speaking of the theoretical interconnectedness of light being everywhere and in everything. Not just because it's what exactly says on the flavor text here, but also because this is not the only time that we've heard this concept. We have Ulantan, we have the mission where you rescue the Shard of the Traveler. We have the entire Books of Sorrow where we learn, the sustenance of the hive is light. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me.
Nice.
So do you want to jump, or do you guys want to talk about that? They did really quick point out in chat the concept of Nemesis as the Greek goddess of vengeance, or the goddess that enacts retribution. Pins is pointing that out. And to really delve into that concept, Nemesis actually is a word that originates from Greek. And the definition of the word that it originates from, which I believe is Nemean, Nemean, I'm not sure I can pronounce that, is actually what it means is to give what is due. So that is actually a very big concept within the Greek religion. There's multiple titles or names for this goddess or god. I think it was a goddess. Yeah, it was a goddess.
Nemesis was a goddess.
Yeah, and her primary, I guess, target, I guess you would call the individuals that she was very active against, were those who succumbed to hubris, which in the Greek mythology was arrogance before the gods. So basically someone who kind of thought he or she was above the laws of the world, and they weren't. So Nemesis's responsibility was to remind them that they were mortals and they were not gods. So yeah, that's the Greek aspect of Nemesis. And as far as the light beyond Nemesis, I am not at the moment pulling any connections at the moment for that particular one. I definitely think Nemesis is more reference to the star myself, but yes.
Well, actually, it could be. Yeah, I like the star connection. I really do. But also, what is the nemesis of the light in the Destiny universe? It's the darkness. So it could literally, you could translate it as light beyond darkness.
Well, but
which would make a lot of sense.
So yes, if you're looking at Nemesis as the concept of something that is opposed, then yes. But what I'm saying is the etymology of Nemesis, like this is just me going back to the etymology. Nemesis originally wasn't really that. Nemesis was something that happened to people who were full of hubris. It was giving what was due. It wasn't, in today's modern world, we think in terms of protagonist and antagonist. Nemesis would always usually be the antagonist, the person who's against you. that's not actually what Nemesis was originally in the traditions of the mythology that term coined from. So that's why I'm hesitant about connecting it. I'm not saying that couldn't be what it is, because yes, that's also a point there too, because if you're the light beyond Nemesis, that means that you're transcending the I kind of want to call it a dichotomy, but I'm not sure if that's the right term, but the competition between the light and the dark, because you are the light, everywhere is light, so it doesn't matter, because no matter what happens, the light is going to be there, right? I guess you could argue that. I was just saying, in the true sense of the etymology of the word nemesis, I don't see a connection.
Yeah, that seems like a stretch.
I mean, and Justin, please.
Even
I mean,
for me.
Right. I mean, no, but I mean, does that make sense? Like, if you use the modern definition of nemesis, I totally see where you're going. But looking at the Greek mythology and the etymology of like and this is an argument of semantics, and I'm completely aware of that, because you could also argue that it doesn't matter what the word used to mean. What it means now is what it means. But no, go for it.
I really I just look at the pratia connection, and I look at the flavor text and the interconnectedness, and all of that is kind of pointing towards a balance between light and dark. And then I take the name of the helmet as being a further nod to that. But that's
no.
That's literally just my headcanon. I've been wrong several times tonight.
Just getting started.
Do we, before we get into a semantic war, do you want to, because translations of words can get really, really dicey very, very quickly. Do you want to jump into Obsidian Mind?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a pretty straightforward one.
Oh, yes, it's amazing. So, Obsidian Mind. Flavor text is power from the ash. And the perk is, I just had it up. God. The perk is called Insatiable. Nova Bomb kills. Reduce the cooldown of the next Nova Bomb. There's nothing else to it. You kill things with a Nova Bomb, and you get more super energy for another Nova Bomb. It's quite useful. I could never get it to work right, because every time I threw my Nova Bomb, half the enemies were already dead.
Or there was a door.
Or there was a door. Yes. All you hunters understand that now. Thank you for being able to sympathize.
I actually sympathize with that.
Every time I saw anything about a void bow hitting a door, I went, no, you know. Anyways.
I'm pretty sure no, because the defender doesn't actually throw anything. But I was about to say, I'm pretty sure it's all void classes. But
it is all, yeah. So, anyways, this was very useful for orb generation as well, because you could continuously get Nova Bombs and just make more orbs and more orbs.
Yeah. Couple it with bad juju, and you can.
Yes, I was just gonna say that bad juju and Obsidian Mind, and it's just Nova Bomb for days. This is probably one that I would use during Crota's End, especially since it was added in the Dark Below.
Mm-hmm.
So this was, and then what do we have here? So from Rhino 666, do you want to read that, or do you want?
You go for it. Go for it. I'll take the mythos, and you take the science.
So the science: volcanic glass forged from the hardened ash of free-flowing lava. Obsidian glass is formed into the extrusion of rock into crystallized razor shards, razor sharp, sterilized by fire, and harder than surgical steel. Used in surgery for a specific purpose because of its micro-smooth surface and superior strength. But it's still stone, and if you hit it the wrong way, it will fracture and break.
And it also makes one of the better arrowheads.
Yes, it's obsidian glass is just in every mythos or game or anything, even in for Skyrim has obsidian armor, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it does.
And it's one of the best armor sets there is.
Amazing armor. I heard Mel. I heard you, Mel.
I know the Dragonbone one is supposed to be better, but the obsidian is just so pretty.
It is. It's so much better looking. It is. I'm not even gonna argue. I'm a hunter. I completely understand this need for
to look good.
To look good. Real quick, the mythos of obsidian. Obsidian is believed to really kind of be the stone of honesty. In many ancient cultures, obsidian protects from negative energy and gives basically a warrior inner hidden abilities. So it brings out these inner abilities within the warrior. The owner's reality emerges through the reflective surface, causing the viewer to face his or her inner evil or good. And basically what this does is this helps you create a state of pure being or pure state of being. And this is what also leads to the concept that black obsidian gives mental focus. So, the obsidian mind. And if you look at the reason why I'm talking the reason we're talking about this, not just the name, but if you look at the helmet, it looks like it is made from it's not a solid piece of obsidian, but it looks like it's made from total obsidian. It's completely black and all that. So,
although some would say that it's simply a blue helmet that got reskinned, but
well, they would be
because there is blue helmets that have the exact same.
Yeah, they would be technically correct, but still wrong.
That never happens in Destiny.
I know.
Never.
I don't know what you're talking about. They did not go happy with the can of spray paint.
No. Move on.
You want to talk about
Never
the skull?
mind that there's only 3 different basic types of rocket launchers.
The skull. Another one that's not. It's the skull is so blah. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about
It's
it.
awesome. First of all, it's an Ahamkara piece, sir. It's an Ahamkara piece, and you will show respect.
The lore about it. This is one of those where the lore about it is more exciting than the actual perk the helmet gives you.
I'm fine with that because I'm not wearing it.
I know this. I was about to say, I'm like, that's fine with me.
I'm going to open up to the Ahamkara section of my actual Grimoire book now. Continue.
Okay.
For the win.
Mel, you want to take the dire?
Yeah, I can take it. Skull of Dire Ankara. Reality is the finest flesh, O bearer of mine. And are you not hungry? So that's the flavor text on it. By the way, this is a really cool looking helmet. Like, I'm a hunter. I can't say warlocks have cool looking gear. It just goes against my code. But this one looks kind of cool. So the exotic perk on this is Delusions of Grandeur. So what it actually does is it take reduced damage, while using your Nova Bomb. Energy siphon effects from using energy drain is increased from 5 seconds to 8 seconds. So Rhino also put this on during our chat, and he has a little thing on Delusions of Grandeur, which is a mental illness, and it's a fantastical beliefs that one is omnipotent. God, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I can't talk. Like, I've read this like 5 times, and now I'm trying to read it again, and apparently it comes out just like a baby talk. Omnipotent, there we go. Famous, wealthy, or very powerful. Generally have supernatural, religious, or a sci-fi theme. It's kind of like a god complex. So, and when you look at the helmet, like the actual looking of it, you get that sense. I mean, there's a bunch. I mean, again, you're talking to the costume person here, so I see like you see the actual horns coming out, which just right away, just you want to like, you know what? I'm good. You have horns on your head. I'm good. That screams a bunch of things I don't want to deal with. But do you guys want to add some more on to the Ankara school? I think you do, Cohen.
Oh, yes. So, I remember, I distinctly remember getting into a conversation in chat about this, about how the Warlocks are the only class that have an Ahamkara piece on our head. Because we're just that crazy that we just want the voices to be fed directly into our brain.
Yeah.
Everyone remember that, okay? Everyone
So-
remember
You know,
that.
this makes total sense now.
Maybe you're
So
just hard
I
of
had
hearing.
made- I remember the connection being made between how the hunters have the young Ahamkara spine and the sealed Ahamkara spine. The sealed one is to quiet the voices, and
Mhm.
yet we take the same bones and put them on our head.
Well, we
Well,
put
that's
them on our
because we're
feet.
not crazy.
Yeah, you
gotta
put them on
think.
your feet because you want to be
Well-
able to jump higher. I mean,
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
because we want
yeah,
them
that's
further
excellent
away from
point.
our head.
No.
Yeah.
Coed has an excellent point. There's a basic difference in the way that a hunter uses a Ahamkara piece as opposed to the way a warlock uses it. A hunter uses an Ahamkara piece for the practical for the practical benefits of it, gaining an extra jump, being able to quad jump as a freaking gunslinger,
having extra trip
getting-
mines.
having a trip mine that lasts for like a fiscal year, things like that. So the warlock
He just sits there and goes, I'm cool on my right. I just want to be crazy or
Yeah.
on my head.
We want
Yeah.
to use the Ahamkara for their knowledge, so we need those
Exactly.
voices.
Warlocks are like Gary Busey. It's crazy for the sake of crazy. That's it.
We're all screaming into Amazon fire.
Yeah. No, have you ever heard the term mad as a hatter? That's it.
I think we need to change that too as Matt as a warlock.
Mad as a warlock.
Yee.
Well, we all know what
You're not
drives a warlock to
contesting it,
madness.
Coed.
Oh no, I will not contest that the crazy is there. I embrace the crazy on a daily basis.
There you go.
The other thing on here is the comment about how did they get an Ahamkara to fit on their head? The point. So first off, obviously this is not a solid bone. If you actually look really closely at it, it's been broken. But the other thing is the concept of a dire animal. Dire animals are the most common one that you're going to come across is what's called a dire wolf. And this is often assumed to just be kind of a fantasy creature. The thing about dire wolves is they actually existed. They're extinct now, thankfully, because they were terrifying. And they were basically large. The concept of a dire anything is that they're larger. I'm trying to remember exactly the difference. So like gray wolves, Canis lupus, weigh on average about 130 pounds. Okay. A dire wolf on average weighs 150. So it doesn't sound like much, but when you're looking at a wolf, that's a
That's
big-
like
that's a big
another
animal.
dog.
Yeah.
added on.
Healthy size wolf.
It's a healthy size wolf. I mean, this is something that when they talk about, how this animal is now extinct, they classified this animal up there with the saber-toothed cat as far as ferocity and dangerousness. Like, this thing is was one of probably the apex predators of its time. And so the concept, and then the concept of dire in like a fantasy concept is that dire animals are always going to be larger. There is going to be an increase in feralness. They're going to be very, very violent, very, very fierce. But the concept always comes back to that a dire insert animal name is always going to be larger. So that's a steady concept. So a dire Ahamkara is an Ahamkara who is probably more primordial, who is larger, and you're wearing that on your head. So that's why that's why conceptually it could fit on your head. So that's my rant about that.
I've got an idea. Just floating it out there. I don't think that's an Ahamkara's head necessarily the way that it exists on an Ahamkara. Those are pieces. So what you might have there is 2 pieces of mandible for the left and right lower jaw. Maybe like a piece of occipital plate for the crest, and then just various bone pieces that Lord Galleon is fashioned together to make this beautiful helmet. Holy I just slipped that in there. Sorry.
No, because I was going to follow you right there with that and say, though some warlock killed a dire Ahamkara and said, "Hey, Galleon, make me a helmet." I killed this thing, and you didn't.
We're not dumb like Titans. We're not going to be like, "Oh, I heard the Dark Blade face. I just read a whole thing."
I knocked off his helmet. Now I'm going to put it on because it's beautiful.
Just look like you're.
And I want to look like a giant hammerhead
pelvis everywhere. Yeah. So
and hunters everywhere are just shaking their heads.
Hey, you guys have the freaking neon ravey little things that you get from the Scions.
Yeah, the cloaks.
I still don't have that.
Yeah.
We don't
That's
talk
not
about
a cloak.
We don't talk about
That's not a
that.
cloak. That's not a
You
cloak.
need something cool to look at when you're looking at our backs and we're running away.
Let's be honest. A veggie wrap is not a sandwich, and that's not a cloak.
You're just mad because you don't have one.
A veggie
Hey,
wrap
Justin. Hey,
or a
Justin.
flare's mantle.
A Flair's
Justin.
mantle.
Hey, Justin.
Skunk
Yes,
stripes, Pence said.
I have all 3 of them in all the colors. They're really cool.
In all the
Veggie
colors.
wraps?
No, the Flair's mantles. They're really cute.
Okay, I'm slightly more jealous than if it had been the jelly wrap. The veggie wrap.
It's nice.
Well, the last one did also draw a veggie wrap for me as like,
So that's not a cloak. If it does not contain, shoulders to feet. If that area isn't occupied by cloth, it's not a cloak. Anything else is just you're playing around.
It could be an electroluminescent cloak, like
It's
cloth.
not.
They make that. They do.
It's- No, I know they do. It doesn't make it a cloak.
It's a cloak. You're just be hurt that you don't have one. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. I understand.
Let's move on. Can I bring some light to one thing?
No.
Yeah, I think I can.
Oh, damn it.
Filibuster.
I mean, are you asking? Can you talk or you what? I
would like to. I'd like to shed some light on something. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure they will, whether I'm wrong or not. Skull of Dire Ahamkara is the only Ahamkara piece that contains where the thumbnail for the piece contains the spectral anomalies circling it. So you can actually see little wisps of something, light, vapor, whatever you want to call it. I have yet to see that on any other single armor piece. Is that
the voices?
Exactly, but they're auditory, Coed. They're auditory. They're not
auditory until you put it on, and then it's just like a light show. It's like transmission all over again.
So the Warlock's head is like a repeater, and it just takes the audio input and makes the light show.
Warlocks are the reason why you had to seal your gloves in silver.
No, we did that because it looks freaking awesome.
So shiny. Okay.
You want to talk about the
Moving
RAM?
on. Yes.
I would like to talk about Ahamkara for like at least 30 more minutes. Let's go. Let's do the RAM.
We'll set aside an episode for you on Rabbit Hole, and
We are yes.
You just made Justin's 2017.
because I think we
I
can do
knew-
like 6 episodes on.
I knew if I showed up for this episode and just gave it my all,
Okay.
I'd make it onto an Ahamkara rabbit hole episode.
So the RAM,
Do it.
the flavor text is simply "Praise me." It's my best Batman impression. Sorry.
That's not how I hear that voice. It's more like praise me.
You sure it's just not a warlock going "Praise me, slap, lifesteal, praise me, slap, lifesteal." Anyways, so the RAM, the exotic perk is Strength of the Ram. You get a +1 point to your armor stat just by wearing it. You also get lifesteal on every melee hit. You don't even have to have a charged melee with a Void Walker, and you get lifesteal. It's amazing. You can run. So with this helmet, you can run 12. What is it? 12 or 13? I forget. Whatever max armor is, you can max it out.
That's not
and
max.
have lifesteal.
It's like 180% of max.
Well, because if you do this, if you put on the ram plus you put on added armor with a chest piece, you can have as much as a max armor striker titan.
That's obnoxious.
Those are the only two
Get
classes that can max.
Get out.
I'm livid right now. I'm just angry.
Okay, well, while you're mad, let's talk about the Osiris connection.
Oh, you can go ahead and do that.
So the before Justin gets started on Ahamkara again, so there is actually a connection to the mythology of Osiris from a myth. Well, not a myth, but I guess a sect of beliefs called the Num astrological cycle. It's KNUM. And this is basically the idea of when Amun-Re, the ram, horned god, returns after 100 years of life, his life ends as a phoenix rising, burning with conflagration. So basically, which is really, really kind of confusing because he's a ram god who turns into a phoenix.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. It's Egyptian mythology.
That still doesn't make any sense.
It's Egyptian mythology.
It's Egyptian mythology. Like that was kind of my extent of my defense on this one. Like
Ra has three aspects of Ra.
Yeah, who are three separate individuals who
separate gods by themselves.
Don't like Ra necessarily,
but they're not Ra. They're pieces of Ra. We're gonna get sidetracked here.
But yeah, that connection is weird. But so there's a connection there. And I think I'm trying to think if this was, no, I was thinking of something else. Never mind. I was thinking of the Trials of Osiris calf helmet, but
calf.
Yeah, the Titan helmet from
The one that looks like a bull?
Yeah, the bull. It's
okay.
It's a golden calf.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a bull.
Yeah, it is. It yeah. Anyways.
Okay. Moving on.
You want to talk about the deer?
So before you talk about the deer, I can't believe Blue didn't have anything on the pagan symbolism of the ram.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
We're gonna be here forever.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was trying to be nice to you.
There's even a Knights Templar connection, and he just drove past that like he was on the freeway.
do you
We
really
are on
want
the
me to
freeway.
get down there?
No,
We're on the freeway
later.
of lore knowledge.
We do it. Okay.
We'll do it later.
We'll do it later.
I love the puns in this next one. Who's doing the next one?
You
Blue?
are.
Oh, I am? Oh,
Since
okay.
you love the puns.
I heard I love it, so let's
Yeah.
Oh, dear goodness.
Exactly. Coed's on the same page
Your
as me.
last chance to go stag. You're getting married.
Hey-ho.
All right, so the stag. Flavor text is, oh dear goodness. I love that. All right, exotic perk is called Do or Die. Do or Die. Oh, I love it. All right, anyways. Once per life, supercharges faster when teammates are dead. Chance to respawn with an overshield. This is also known as helmets that I really hate in PvP. Yes. So this was
There's
active.
people that use it? God.
I don't think anymore. Not anymore. One of our climates used to use it, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, no.
Yeah. Why would you use this instead of the ram? Come on.
Because he didn't have the ram yet, and then he got the ram.
Because it has bigger antlers.
Because it has bigger. Because it's more frabjous. Because he really wants to be a hunter.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Anyways.
We all know the truth.
It's like the compensation helmet before you get the ram. All right.
It's compensating for something.
Oh, just a little bit. All right.
It's just to keep people from standing on you. In the
Oh God. So I personally never used this helmet. Never. I got it and I went, look at this perk. This is S. I'm not going to use this.
Yeah.
Once for life, when all my teammates are dead, I'm dead. So why does it matter if my supercharge is faster? I'm terrible at PvP. If I'm last guardian standing, I'm already dead. I already know that.
Or the other part of that I take issue with is once per life. So if you're just a bad A and you manage to survive all your teammates dying multiple times,
Yeah,
you only get to proc a benefit once.
It does charge it like really fast from what I've heard and seen and read, but again, it's once per life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Chance to respawn with an overshield. I don't know what that chance is, but yay. So it takes 2 headshots now to kill me instead of 1.
Mm-hmm.
Why do all the Warlock helmets look like they're out of a Stanley Kubrick film?
Because it's the voices.
Why?
So,
all right.
Anyways.
Go for it, Mel.
So, the mythology on this is the goddess of the hunt. The longhorns symbolize the reflection of the life cycle, so death and rebirth. So that goes back to the actual perks on it. Like, if everyone's dead, then you might have the chance to, rise everyone up again. Probably not, but that is the essence and the mythology behind the actual symbolism of the stag. So it is also the messenger god. I don't really know too much about that. Do you know too much more about that, Blue, in terms of the messenger god?
The goddess of the hunt is usually, it's another name for Artemis. The messenger god is usually Hermes. But
so why is it a stag?
Well,
it's the messenger of the forest.
Artemis was huntress, and so that was where the connection there. For Hermes, the only thing I can think of off the top of my head is the fact that the speed.
Your supercharger's faster?
Yeah, I mean he was a trickster god. So he was always he was always tricking the other gods into doing
that makes
things.
Sense that this helmet is like it's just the jokes never end on this one. So I mean when it's on the flavor text, it's not oh dear as in DEAR, it's DEER.
Yeah, and like Hermes also was a guide to the underworld. So like he was one of the power spheres that he was believed to have was transition and boundaries. Because he was a messenger, he could move freely between all worlds, both mortal and divine. And so like he was kind of he was the person who also was tasked with the job of conducting all souls into the afterlife. I'm trying to draw a connection between him and a stag, and I think that's about it. He was a patron of herdsmen. But
actually in Buddhism, the deer symbolizes, among other things, longevity. And when you think of the perks of this helmet, that
would make more sense.
They're geared towards rewarding someone who's got longevity in their life, like they're the last person alive on their fire team. And also, if you look at the symbolism of the stag, and what we know about Bungie is, I don't care what you say, they love weaving mythology and symbolism and real world stuff right into their lore. All of the stag symbolism seems to be fairly positive on the light side of the spectrum. When you, and we're not gonna, because it's a deep hole, but when you dig into Ram symbolism and lore, there's some positive stuff there, but there's also some really, really dark pagan stuff. I actually believe that these two were created as counterparts of kind of yin and yang.
That makes
That's
sense.
me. That's just me.
Boom.
Guys, we are through with helmets.
Yay! Let's jump to
It's only
something easy.
11:30.
Let's jump to
So let's
something
move on
easy.
to.
Bonds.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
We can knock these out fast.
All
We
right.
could do Titan armor pieces
We
if
can do
you
leg-
want to.
leg
Just
armor
do
even
something
faster.
easy.
Do something easy.
Boys.
You want to start
Stand
with
firm.
Circle of War?
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Do it.
All right.
do it.
So just like, every other faction class item that we are going to talk about, Circle of War is for the Rainbow Death Squad. And the flavor of text is understanding is not an end, but a beginning from which new truths are born. It's Future War Cult. Perk is just the same as I think it was the Cloak of Chaos, which is Gladiator, which basically gives you increased rep for Future War Cult, and then a Future War Cult effect to your spawn animation. Just like with the Chaos Cloak, you have an additional exotic perk of the Life Exotic, which again just allows you to wear this exotic item with another piece of exotic armor, because this exotic item really
Does nothing.
except give you rep gain, which is yay.
Which at this point, when you've already acquired this, like, do you really need more rep gain for that faction? Like, let's be real.
It does give you
course
the
you do.
effect to spawn.
Does it? I have never seen that.
Yeah, it's not like super flashy, but I know with the Dead Orbit cloak, it does look like, for the hunter at least, there is a bit of a difference in the sparkles. That's it.
Oh wow!
No, I mean, like, literally, it is not.
Sign me up.
It is not that big of an effect.
I have that cloak, and I've never noticed.
Just you have to
Never.
look really, really closely. But yeah, it's not like super. Is it? Oh, Hurt Chain says that it's pretty noticeable for the Future War Cult one.
But that
in
would make
chat.
sense for Future War Cult, because they're like, all in your face.
They
Future War
like
Cult.
they like their flashy stuff.
We are not.
I feel like
I'm
Future War
repping.
Cult-
I'm repping Future War Cult right now on my Warlock, and I can say that it's flashy.
So, like, in my
Respect.
in my head canon, Future War Cult are like the bros hopped up on like Monster energy drinks. And then Dead Orbit are like the ones that are like anti-establishment or whatever. He look at I forget the guy's name, that runs
Jalal.
the Dead Orbit. Thank you. Him. He just sits there. He's like, yeah, man, like, existence is futile. Like, that's how I imagine everyone in Dead Orbit. So automatically, that's where I'm at. And then New Monarchy, they're just like, have you seen our money?
So
we have
I'm gonna
gold on everything.
I'm going to take that one step further. New Monarchies in the VIP lounge. Future War Cult's on the dance floor, and Dead Orbit's the ones that are outside drunk.
I think
No.
Dead Orbit's the ones calling the police, telling.
I think Dead
that
Orbit's
everyone
are
else
the
is
ones
too
that are
loud.
like in line trying to get in, but their names are on the list, and so they're gonna go call the
Even better.
police.
Yes.
These
That
are
is
very
Dead
solid. These are very solid lore theories that we're.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
No. You're
No, all I
welcome.
have is bad techno stuck in my head.
So, since we're talking about Dead Orbit, the Warlock bond for that one, we'll just go ahead and slide right into that one. It's called Light Beyond, and the flavor text on that is every light that marks the abyss offers hope against the rising tide. Basically, it does the exact same thing that the Future War Cult one did, Circle of War. Not anything super exciting.
But hey, check out real quick. Not to get too far into this one, just because I think we're gonna fly through it. But what is every light that marks the abyss? They're
Souls.
stars. Stars.
Well, if you're looking at
Yeah, you could if you think about
Well, Dead Orbit
know-
wants to leave.
the doom and gloom bunch looking to the stars, there's several mentions in the lore about them looking to the stars for their future. They're saying every star offers hope. So like every new galaxy, the farther they can run, it all just offers hope against the rising tide of the darkness. They're just going to outrun it. That's how I read that. But
Justin,
yes, ma'am.
The stars are the only light in the deep, dark depressingness of my soul.
That's so emo.
Yeah. So the Stormcolor bond.
Maybe we shouldn't have done the bonds, Blue. Maybe this is
Oh my gosh, the Stormcolor bond.
Mel and I bonded.
Is So the flavor text on the Stormcolor is "You are the calm eye of the dire storm." Just as with the other Taken King subclass items, this gives you it's the exotic perk is called Archmage. Stormcaller subclass upgrades at a 25% quicker pace, and your overall level increases 10% faster. Yeah, and obviously the connection for the perk trivia wise is an Archmage is literally a magician of arc or electricity, which is what a Stormcaller kind of does. So
I do that in real life.
Anyways. Who wants to take the one faction that no one here represents?
I'll do it.
I'll take the bullet.
Yeah, I was going to do it.
Go for it.
The age to come, there is strength in unity, and a king of many will be the king of all. Yes. That's a Varix quote. You put yes at the end of that with a bunch of S's? That is a Varix yes at the end of
anything, and it's a Varix quote. Yes.
True. You're right. But if you replace king with Kel and put yes at the end of it, it's a Varix quote.
Oh.
So the exotic perk.
The exotic perk? Are there exotic perks to this one?
Okay. There's an exotic
perk. I was just going to read the flavor text.
So just like the other class items for the factions, this exotic perk is called Vanquisher, and it does the exact same thing as the other factions except for New Monarchy. So you get a New Monarchy effect to your spawn animation, and you gain the rep faster. And then also you have the exotic perk of the Life Exotic. The only bond that does not have the Life Exotic is the Stormcolor bond, and that's because I guess it arguably does something different than the other. I don't know.
Blue. This is a New Monarchy item for a Warlock. I don't know if you could get any farther from something that would interest me. On the spectrum of things that interest me.
On that note, to your left, you'll notice. So I say we move on to
leg armor.
The one and only piece of leg armor that us poor Warlocks have ever gotten. Thank you, finally, Bungie.
Well, you guys just move really slow.
Yeah, they were just used to being carried for a really long time.
Yep.
So they didn't have legs.
Yeah, except now we don't have to reload. Ever. Awesome. Okay, so transversive steps. The flavor text is, in these boots, your relationship with consistent space-time is tenuous at best. And once my computer catches back up. There we go. No, where did it go? Stop it.
Just slap it around a couple times.
Little slap and pickle.
Yeah, tell it to behave. Otherwise,
have you found that talking to your computer helps?
Oh, Lord.
No.
Don't.
Okay, so the exotic perk, Strange Angles. Gain faster movement speed while crouching, and picking up ammo automatically reloads the weapon matching that ammo's type. Yes! They may have taken forever to give us leg armor, but they are awesome.
They're really pretty, too.
Oh, they are so pretty.
They are disco boots.
They are, they make radiant dance machines.
They are disco boots.
I
we were
feel
dressed
like
in
I
robes.
feel like this is a challenge. I feel like the Wargs got these boots to challenge our radiant dance machines and go, and they
there's
just sat there and they
There's no
did the
challenge.
thing where they put the two fingers to the eye and then one at you and then they glanced down at the boots and they put on the dance floor, and that's how the hunters and warlocks now just to do their disputes.
So
Dance off, I think you just described something that should happen at DestinyCon.
Yeah.
So for notes, we got math, geometry. Transversal is turned or directed across a line that cuts across two or more usually parallel lines. It's literally just straight line going across two other lines. If you took geometry, you know.
Yeah.
That's not perpendicular.
Yeah. The word
draw an transversal. Done.
Yeah, just the definition of the words transverse means situated or extending across something. So it's literally and I love the statement that its relationship with consistent space-time is tenuous at best. Because it allows you to kind of cut across consistent space-time.
It allows you to, as usual, ignore the laws of physics.
Yeah.
And just make things happen.
Cheat.
I think warlocks refer to them as the suggestions of physics.
That would make sense.
Not so much as the laws.
This is
right.
true.
Actually, that's very warlock.
Yep.
And that's pretty. The tenuous connection is, I think, a big nod to the fact that you move faster when you are crouching instead of moving slower.
This is one of the trifecta of
which I've never seen anyone do that. I want someone to do that at me, like in Crucible.
I've used them in Crucible.
Hilarious.
It's pretty nifty when you crouch. If you pair them with Take a Knee, any sniper rifle with Take a Knee or something.
Yeah.
Forget
I just
about
want the Lollipop Guild music from
we represent the Lollipop Guild. Lollipop Guild.
Matador.
Oh my god. There's one piece of leg armor. We spent so much time on it.
Yeah, way too much.
Jump up to the claws. We have to make sure that Justin doesn't talk too much.
Okay, so Justin, don't talk at all. No. Put it down. Put it down.
I'm ready.
So the claws of Ahamkara. Flavor text is, look at this life, O bearer mine. There is so much left to burn. And this one has the exotic perk of the Whispers, which basically gives you an additional charge for Scorch and Energy Drain. So it is a Sunsinger focused. And it was added in the Dark Below. We don't really have any big notes on this one that I can
There's
think
one big
of.
note. It does not look as cool as the Hunter arms.
I don't
really understand.
I'm gonna have to correct you there.
What is it supposed to be? Like, I've never got
those are plate scales.
Are those plate scales?
Yeah, those are plate scales in a very feathery like fashion, but those are large plate scales, whereas all the hunter pieces are bones. And
exactly. That's why ours look cooler.
But I think it's weird that it's called the Claws of Ahamkara, and there's not a single thing about the piece that has a claw.
Yeah, there's a claw on the shoulder.
The pauldrons have claws. Yeah, if you pull it up on the Bungie directory to get the 3D model, you'll see the...
Well, I kept trying to equip it, and it said character model not available.
You can also do this thing called Google.
That's because you're on your hunter.
Oh,
man, if I had a desk in front of me, I would head desk right now. Hard.
As soon as he started talking, I was like, "Oh my god, he's gonna make this comment."
Lou, I have a correction.
I love you. Never change. James, I love
I tried. The doctors tried. They can't.
Teacher, pick me, teacher. Blue, it is not just Scorch and Energy Drain. It literally gives you an
it's
extra melee.
all Warlock.
It's all melee.
Extra melee.
Okay. I'll
So
correct that.
Storm Callers, yes, we can melee you twice from sniper distance. And then you can try to hit us and we can melee you a third time with stronger melee.
I don't like
In case
this. This does not sound.
Hey,
fun.
it would be annoying if anybody used them, right? Am I right?
But this is part of the OP. Was part of the OP Sunsinger build. You get double flame shield, double fusion grenade. You know, this was before you had, and you still had your super.
That doesn't mean I like it.
Hello. You don't have to like it. You
Okay.
just have to accept it.
I don't
You
accept
just have
it.
to burn.
Just have to burn.
Burn for it.
Okay. So next, what's next?
Nothing manacles.
Nothing manacles. I can't. It's not loading for me.
The nothing manacles. The equations balance thus. You are diminished and I am exalted. You are broken and I am made strong. This is from Oryx's diary. I think, and I don't understand why they're lavender.
Because
Maybe co-ed.
because basically what happens is when you kill a warlock, these trick you into making you think that you got heavy.
Oh, cool. Nice.
And you get excited, and then the warlocks disappoint you even after death.
Oh
I'm with you.
man. Yeah, I don't know why they glow purple either. It's cool. I like it.
It's
actually
funny
work now.
because it's funny because manacles are essentially handcuffs, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Nothing handcuffs is almost like it's almost like a slight to handcuffs. It's like nothing will handcuff you, right? Like your handcuffs are made of nothingness.
Well, and I think
Which-
that's the point is nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
I was making the point that it was the point.
Okay.
You,
All right.
you
There is no spoon.
join me on this journey, Blue.
Okay, so
There is no spoon. Thank you.
what?
The note
So
note on this one is the obvious connection to the chemistry formula, which is the starting with the equation balance, which comes from the law of conservation of mass. And this is kind of a nod to that flavor text. It says mass cannot be destroyed or created, yet it may be rearranged in space. You can transform, however, it must be balanced. So, example is when you have light or physical work is transformed into particles that contribute the same mass to the system as the lighter work has contributed. Basically, you have to have it's a law of even exchange, basically. And the conservation of mass also goes on to harkens back to the Greek philosophy of the law of the conservation of mass, which is titled "Nothing Comes from Nothing." And I actually, Rhino included the quote from Lucretius. There's a book or a novel that text, I guess he wrote called De Rerum Natura. And this is actually where that concept is kind of defended. This also kind of goes into the whole concept that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It's just rearranged, basically. So yeah, that's the trivia connection there is because, the equations always balance. No matter what, energy equations will always balance. So if you are diminished, that's because I am exalted. If you are broken, it's because I am made strong. And vice versa. If I'm diminished, you are exalted. And, if I'm broken, you are made strong. The energy or the light always exists. It's just a transference between the two individuals or the two sides of the equation that is being balanced thus. So that is the equation that is being explained. Some people call it sword logic, but I guess we couldn't call that.
I was waiting for someone to say it. Somebody's gonna say it. Somebody's gonna say it.
Blue has committed the blunder.
Demigod wins law.
All right. So we're good on that one?
Yeah, I think we're good
the
on that
next
one.
one
All
gives
right.
me even more reason to
Next
not
one
like
is
Warlock.
Ophidian aspects. God, I love these gloves. The quote is, or the flavor text, "Have I the aspic in my lips?" I don't know what that is.
Oh, I'll
sounds cool.
I'll talk about it.
Cool.
Yeah, please. Do.
The exotic perk, Viper Totemic, improved siphon, weapons ready and reload very quickly. And by improved, it means intensely improved. Like, whew, I could go into the numbers, but we'd be here for a while. Look out Fallout Plays. He's got a video on it.
Real quick, the flavor text is actually a quote from Shakespeare. It's Antony and Cleopatra, and it's the scene where Cleopatra commits suicide. It's her question is, "Have I the aspic in my lips? Dost fall?" So there's, it's right when she lets the asp bite her and she dies. Real quick on that as well, Ophidia is a group of, I guess technically it's squamate reptiles that includes modern snakes. All reptiles, and these are basically all the reptiles that are more closely related to snakes than any other living group of lizards. The thought for the Ophidia is that they were evolved from lizards that burrowed or swam, and that basically gave way, and they lost their hind legs via evolution. Going back to the aspic, an aspic viper is literally a poisonous snake. And aspis,
like an asp.
Yeah, and an aspis is a viper. Like that, it's the kind of interchangeable. So an aspic viper is a poisonous snake.
That's actually makes me feel a lot better because there's a food called aspic, and that's really confusing. If you did you find that in your travels, Blue?
Mm-mm.
Just look up aspic.
Oh god,
ASPIC. It's a savory jelly made with meat stock set in a mold and used to contain pieces of meat, seafood, or eggs.
I don't know if I want to eat that.
It's meat jelly, and the flavor text is, "Have I the aspic caught in my lips?" And I'm like, that's gross.
Meat jelly?
Meat jelly. But I like that it's a Shakespeare quote instead of meat jelly. So
Yeah, it's the quote.
Bungie for the win once again.
The second Google result is aspic gross. Taste test from hell. So I'm gonna stick with my theory of not touching that, and
the icky era of aspic. Okay.
Real quick, totemic is basically a totem emblem that is worshipped by a family lineage that is believed to include animals that the people or even the clan evolved from or were related to. So it's usually carved from wood to evoke protection from the guardian animal, which if you look at these gloves, if you look at I guess it's technically a pauldron. Not really, but the shoulder piece is a totem. That is technically a totem. It's two cobras around a floating orb thing. I don't even know what that is. But if you look at it, that would be considered a totem, because if you go back to the actual definition of totem, it's simply a carving from usually wood to evoke that protection from the guardian animal, which in this case would be the viper. So that is the connection for the Ophidian aspect to all the trivia.
It also looks really good with Trials of Osiris gear. I'm just going to put that out there.
Can I just add one quick thing that I noticed?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of looks like the why am I forgetting the name? The staff that Hermes uses.
Oh yeah, the double snakes.
Oh yes, and it's a very it's a very thin connection to Hermes speed goes, but because it gives you quick draw and added reload speed. Yeah,
the catechus, the rod of Hermes. It's also the rod or the symbol of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And those are actually asps on that. So, that is because I think it's actually called. Was it? Oh no, I'm thinking of the rod of Asclepius, which is I think the same thing technically. No, okay, no, it's not. Hermes had two. Asclepius only had one. But yeah, so Hermes is the catechius, and that is a winged staff with two snakes wrapped around it, and it was also a symbol for commerce. But it is now also the medical sign, and yeah, there's an entire myth about why there are two snakes around it. So, yes. that's my I mean, unless you want to talk about the myth of how the two snakes got there, I'm gonna just stop talking.
I just wanted to make that
is a good
connection. That's all.
That is a good connection.
One can only assume trying to bite you in the neck. So the next armor piece is the one that everyone loved to use to make our friend Atheon
we hate
go for a walkabout. Sunbreakers. When one can wield the fire of stars, what use is flesh and bone?
It's a good question.
You would think maybe your flesh and bone might be gone at that point, but...
Well, and I think that's kind of the point, because if you look at them, they don't, but they look like they're actually replacing your forearm with the plasma.
Mm-hmm.
But if you actually look at them on the database, that is not the case. There's just an overlay. There's actually a glove underneath. So don't worry, you aren't actually destroying your flesh and bone. If you want to make... Well, you can't. Atheon installed baby bumpers.
So did the Templar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the I forgot you could do that with the Templar.
That's how I first beat him.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That was the first and only time I ever used that Sunsinger perk where everyone else gets just that faster.
Yeah, my raid group was like 4 hunters and 2 titans, so I never experienced that firsthand.
So yeah, the exotic perk is Helium Cycle, and it increases the duration of Solar Grenade. This is great on control maps because you can just lob grenades at a control point and they last forever.
Because you control helium.
You control the sun.
And then finally, sorry, chat. The Impossible Machines. The flavor text on this one actually comes from a crumpled note pinned in the clasp, and it says, quote, "The dead come for these, but the dead should not have them," end quote. I wonder who they're talking about.
I think they're talking about iPhones.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Thanks for that, Justin. I was really confused. I'm so glad you helped me out there.
Now we're together, right?
Yeah. Go away. The exotic perk on this one is Lightning Rod. And basically what this perk does is it unlocks the Stormcaller subclass node Landfall for free, which is the really annoying thing that people jump over you and decide to become a Tesla coil, which makes sense because that's what they have on their hands.
This is when we learned to Titan Slam.
Or Storm from X-Men.
That works too. Or they just go full Palpatine. Just real quick notes on this one. There is actually an impossible machine in reality. This is well, there is a concept of the impossible machine. The reason why it's called the impossible machine. And this is
perpetual motion.
The perpetual motion machine. It is nicknamed the Impossible Machine, and it's named this because it originally failed to consider the law of conservation of energy. So functional relics are actually sought after by many vintage collectors around the world. It got to a point that the U.S. government actually stopped giving out patents for perpetual motion machines because they just none of them ever worked. So unless you can actually show a working prototype, you will not get a patent from the U.S. government for a perpetual motion machine. NASA has...
It's weird, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, all they need to do is go get a cat and a piece of toast with jelly on it. It's really not hard.
Thank you. No, I was just going to say, it's the only way to prove it is to have it work forever. So it's like, your machine doesn't work. Prove it. Still working. Until your machine fails, it's a perpetual motion machine. Essentially.
And so basically the simplest way to disprove any perpetual machine is to, what the quote is, look for the source of energy. Because you have it, the perpetual, that's the problem with it. It doesn't consider the law of conservation of energy, and so, or I think the creation of energy. But anyways,
you were right the first time.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I'm trying to explain, because basically they have to use an external source of energy to get the machine to work, and that defeats the purpose of the machine.
Energy can never be created.
Right.
Only transformed and
converted. Didn't we already cover that?
From one form to the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a common theme throughout all this.
It's the second law of thermodynamics.
I feel like there's a common theme telling the warlocks, like, you need to calm it down.
You need to respect the laws of physics. Damn it. Or the suggestions of physics, whatever you want to call them.
The physicists of the world are rolling over in their grave after whatever a warlock does.
Yeah, they're like, okay, the max is usually 10. We like you operating at like an 8, but you are all the way at an 11. So can you tone that down a bit? That'd be great.
Just need to bring it back down a little bit, please.
Just a little bit, please. Thank you.
Simmer down now.
All right. And that does it for gloves.
Yay!
We just ran the gauntlet.
Man.
Holy crap. Dude, we came in under the wire. Good job.
We still have chests to do.
We still have chess pieces. And we should start with Alchemist Diamonds.
Justin's like, I thought I was done.
They pulled me back in. That is a really good looking blouse.
God, this thing is so awesome, and its perk is so craptacular.
So I have a warlock that
that would look
I never use it, and I only have her wear this one because it's pretty.
It's so pretty, and it like shimmers and stuff. Yeah, if only I could wear this. You could wear this with transversive steps and the stag helmet. You'd be the coolest looking warlock in the world.
You'd be a cheater.
You know what? I sometimes wish that you could at least equip all the exotics you want, but you can only choose one exotic for the perks. But like, yes, I wish you could transmog, so that way I could just be like the coolest looking hunter that ever hunted.
Okay. Now that you've done this,
now
that you've done this, everyone has to say their armor pieces. Mel,
my favorite armor piece?
No. If you could wear all exotics on your hunter,
this. Can we do this at the end? I feel like this is our homework.
I think it's going to be done. It's going to be done. You're not getting off.
Okay, so Alchemist Rhymints.
Do it.
The flavor text is to reshape the world piece by piece, thought by thought. All it takes is a little reshuffling of particles. Again, big F you to physics.
Well, not really, because it follows the law of conservation of energy. Right? Because it's just taking a reshuffling of particles?
We assume it does. We don't know how much energy it actually takes to reshuffle said particles. But
what did an alchemist try to do? Feverishly.
And that's actually the exotic perk. Iron to gold. Chance to gain glimmer on primary ammo pickup. Orbs collected when super is full.
Okay, lore-wise, this is an amazing concept.
That's what everybody wants from an exotic piece is a quality of life.
Oh, God. So I will
Lots
say
of glimmer.
used this in King's Fall. It was added in the Taken King. I did use this in King's Fall because as a warlock, I would hold my super until everyone else died and I needed to res. And holding your super, you pick up those orbs off the ground. Not only does it reduce frame rate, but you get grenades and melee back hella quick.
Mm-hmm.
The notes. You want to take the notes, Blue?
Yeah, I'm trying to find. I had an extensive. What's really funny is I was actually looking up some things for something completely unrelated in regards to alchemy when I was talking to Rhino about this, and so I was like, why are you what? Why is he? Oh, this is amazing! I love this confluence of the timing. So alchemy is really interesting. There's a lot of history, actual history with alchemy, and I know a lot of people, when you hear alchemy, a lot of people think, oh, it's just this fascination with magic and fascination with the supernatural, and it really actually isn't. Alchemists basically are studying to purify, mature, and perfect very specific objects, and ultimately every alchemist works on what he or she calls what is called a magnum opus, and this is their work to master all of this stuff that they are working on. And the entire concept of iron to gold is actually more symbolic than it is real, than it is anchored in reality. They're not going to say no, that they wouldn't turn lead to gold, but the entire concept of a base metal into gold is the perfection of that person. So the origin of alchemy was really born from the understanding of transmutation of base metals, which is basically when someone kind of figured out, hey, if I mix this component with this component, it actually makes something new. Anyone who ever played the game Doodle God, you've basically seen alchemy. I mean, that is alchemy. It's combining things and then doing different steps to create something new from that combination. The entire idea of making gold from a base object is actually chrysopopeia. Man, I cannot talk that. It's a weird word. And that is actually one very small aspect of alchemy. The larger aspect of alchemy is really, I hesitate to call it an obsession because it really isn't, but it's a goal to create what's usually identified as the Philosopher's Stone. Some people also call it I believe it is the alcocodron. And this is it. There's so much to unpack here. The Philosopher's Stone is ultimately just a substance that can turn any base metal into gold, but more importantly, it also grants immortality. This is actually the reason why historically it's been practiced and very heavily sought, because it represents perfection and perfect balance. And that's really what alchemy was all about, was finding balances of changing and transforming things. The alcocodron was actually a deviation of the Philosopher's Stone that is literally, it translates into giver of years, and it's from a couple of the Islamic schools of thought. But it deals with the manipulation of a source of energy called the Heilig, which is basically energy of life. The alcocodron was in Aristotelian terms, Heilig was the material and alcocodron was the form that would intersect within the body of the alchemist and make the triumvirate that allows the alchemist to create new things. Hellenic alchemy, on the other hand, is, well, they deviate a little bit, but they're pretty similar. Hellenic alchemy generally tends to be comprised around the 7 planetary metals, which is gold, silver, copper, iron, tin, mercury, which is also known as quicksilver, and then lead. And now each of these metals is associated with a particular planet. Gold, for example, is the sun. Silver is the moon. And then you have, from there down. This also takes into consideration the base elements. Now, this is something that a lot of people in Destiny probably will recognize a little bit. But whereas Destiny has 3 base elements, alchemy has 4. Or, well, generally there's assumed to be 4. There's a couple Far East schools that argue for the case of 5 or 6. But the general Hellenic school of thought has 4 base elements, which are air, earth, water, and fire, or plasma, solid, gas, and liquid. Then you also combine this into a prime triangle, which is another Hellenic school of thought, which is the spirit, the body, and the soul. Alchemy, and I've gotten most of this detailed out in the mind map. I mean, it goes into the indications of the cryptography of the zodiac signs, in which you can use to decode different passages of magnum opuses from different authors or different alchemists. George Ripley is one that is really often used to show those 12 steps. The other big thing as far as alchemy is within the regards of science. The entire field of chemistry is derived from alchemy. So traditional medicine actually is kind of heavily derived from this entire school of thought. And that can be seen a lot in the pharmacology department or pharmacology areas of study. That's what they're doing. They are basically combining different elements to create different medicines to help benefit society. And so in some cases, this traditional medicine actually, you can argue, uses the concept of transmutation of natural substances to create those medicines that we just take for granted. That's actually a form of alchemy. You could argue that. The only other note that I know Rhino and I talked about was the entire belief that evolution is possibly a part of alchemy. And that stems from the belief that the practice, which is claimed to be successful, leads to the belief that it could be applied to healing. And that can be also seen in kind of a Darwinistic state, whereas the successful entity is the entity that survives and passes those traits on. Many cultures kind of took that to a more mythological / supernatural belief, in that they held that this was the discovery behind the elixir of life, which then, kind of curves back into this concept of the Philosopher's Stone and immortality, and all these things it's kind of a secular model of thought. But yeah, this is something that I could go for hours on. Alchemy is a very, very fascinating subject, just from history, not even taking into consideration, believing or not believing the supernatural aspects of it. Just
snake oil.
The snake oil of it. The historical ramifications of alchemists in general has been pretty significant, and really, honestly, you can thank the entire existence of pharmacologists to alchemists. So that's my
congratulations,
rant.
Blue.
Congratulations. That's my rant.
That is the most anyone's ever talked about that armor piece.
It's pretty too.
It's so pretty.
It is. It's pretty.
So next is Heart of the Praxic Fire.
What? No one wanted to add on to that?
No. I think
you're good.
That's all I got.
I think you're real good.
Sorry, I had to make fun of myself.
Her chain says that it's not a real science, but we'll go ahead.
Her chain is correct. Sky Dragon with the Hudson Hawk reference. Thank you. I was thinking that the whole time.
So, Heart of the Praxic Fire.
Yes.
In the last moment, she seemed as wholly luminescent as the sun, and I wished to be so brave. And we believe that to be a quote from...
That's my bae.
Eris Morn, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Talking about Ariana 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Good old Ariana. So
She
exotic
is
perk is Praise the
fire.
Sun. Further decreases all ability cooldowns while Radiance is active. And it's works really good. Thought to be in honor of Radiance, and it has the Cassoid emblem on the back of the collar. It also has a tie-in to the Praxic Warlocks, being that it's, heart of the Praxic Fire.
Mm-hmm.
The Praxic Warlocks are a
Pragmatic bunch.
group within the Sunsinger bunch of craziness.
Yes, they do. They do tend to be.
Yeah.
There's also the obvious Dark Souls reference.
Yeah, I don't play that hard as craziness game. I played.
Praise the sun.
I literally put it into my PlayStation for all of 5 minutes, and I got I got utterly destroyed by skeletons and said, "Nope, I'm done. I'm done."
I had the same experience, so don't feel bad.
It gets so much better. It gets so much better because then you can get invaded by other players.
I have
I'm good. I'm good.
No, thank you.
All right, let's purify our thoughts.
Not our robes?
Our robes, the dresses need to be purified.
Did not get these until Rise of Iron.
They're pretty. I like the model, the design on these.
Yeah, they're good if nobody's paying attention to you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, fire is the breaking of bonds. Fire is freedom. We must be swift and thorough in our liberation.
Wow.
And the exotic perk is Burn Brighter. Activating radiance from death disorients nearby enemies. That's why I was saying if nobody's paying attention, they're good. Like, this would probably work once. And then somebody would say, oh, he's wearing purifier robes. Everybody get away from him. Back up, back up.
I just have a tendency to ignore people once they're dead.
Yeah. And that's where it usually
You
comes
don't play
in handy.
trials.
Yeah, and I don't play trials.
I know, right?
That is entirely an accurate statement. That is a really accurate statement.
The problem
There are
is
multiple videos of me doing air horns and teabagging, only to have 2 freaking self-res warlocks come back up.
Hang on. I think I have a.
Yeah, you may.
Hang on. Wait. I think. Is this it?
Oh my God! Y'all saw that, right? Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah. Yeah. That may have been one of them. There was actually one where, do you know when you win a trials game? If you play trials, you know this. When you win a trials game and it's been really like hard fought and tense, but you didn't just win a round, you just won the whole thing. What do you do when you're done? You like run around the whole map. Like if you're not a teabagger, you run around the whole map and you just jump around, right? Yeah, pretty much dance in different places, run around. I started doing that, left the place where the 2 orbs from the 2 Sun Singers were. They both revived, and then I could hear my teammates go, "Wait, no, Justin, where are you going? Don't leave." Wait, no. Oh, they're all alive now.
And there
Sad
goes the
day.
round.
Sad day. No, there went the game. Because after that, everyone was so freaking demoralized. But yeah. I don't know how that fits with Warlock.
I don't know either because they self-res. The purification by fire is it's both religious and historically pretty significant. Many religions use fire as a means of expressing purification of the soul. You see this with terminology such as baptism by fire or trial by fire, or even ordeal by fire. The historical context within this is the ordeal by fire was actually an attempt to prove the innocent or worthy. This is kind of, it gets a little gruesome. So people
Like
were put
Salem?
that's a misnomer, but sure, we'll go with there. People were put under extreme conditions, and if they emerged unscathed or healed directly after, it was a sign of the gods or even God stepping in as to interfere with the ordeal. Basically, what that means is that you were innocent, and so judging this would prove the subject was purified or worthy. The problem with this entire concept is pretty obvious for anyone who wants to think about this. A lot of people died. And the defense for a lot of this was, oh, well, they weren't blank, and this is by no means targeting any specific religion or political institution that use these practices, because almost every single one of them historically has done something to this nature. And so, but yeah, it's not a pretty thing. You'll have the instances of the witch trials, you'll have the Inquisition, you'll have different things of that nature. And this is
forever about the witch trials.
If you float, you're a witch. If you sink, you are an innocent person and we'll miss you.
Yes, that was actually, the drowning was a very, and that's obviously
that's what I was thinking of. It's like it's not fire, but I'm saying it's the same flawed logic. It's like,
and that was actually a very popular process, sadly. But yeah, that's
so. Do we think that the purifier robes was a ceremonial garment that was worn as part of some like you say, ordeal by fire, like was worn as some sort of coming of age?
I think
maybe
the purifier
maybe
robes
worn by the Thanatonautes.
Yeah, the Thanatonautes.
Yeah, or maybe a Praxic thing. I
think it would be probably more of a Thanatonaut than anything. But the other thing is because of the combination of the exotic perk, I really think that this is obviously this is a nod to the purification by fire, but because remember also Sunsingers have radiance that brings them back. And that is literally the burning of the self, because they erupt into the flames. We talked about that a little bit with the Pajari arc when we had that episode, and how that kind of ties into the entire concept of what an actual Pajari does, which is burning. I believe it's burning incense. I cannot remember what that specific practice is called, but it's literally they burn an actual Pajari burns something in effigy, whereas in Destiny the Sunsinger is actually burning him or herself in effigy to the light, and they are purifying themselves and coming back from the brink of death, or they're coming back from beyond death. And there's multiple. Okay, so like just personally, I know this because of my own religion, but within the Bible, there's a lot of references, especially within the books of Isaiah, of this exact kind of concept. Is because the Isaiah in the Bible is a prophet. He's taken to heaven and he's purified via a coal from the throne of God, and then he's sent back. Once he's been purified, he is allowed to now speak the word of God, and he's sent back within those books. And so that's a concept, the purification of fire. Like I said, it's a very, very heavily religious concept, as well as there is the historical concept too. So I definitely think that it's a ceremonial garment, but I think the ceremony that you're speaking of is actually the resurrection of the individual guardian, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kind of, maybe.
Yeah, it does. It does, but I'm just trying to imagine this order that uses it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if it's specifically an order. It might.
You would think it would be something kind of steeped in tradition and.
Yeah, and that's why I would. If anything, I would think it'd be Thanatonauts, right?
No, I'm not going to speculate as to who it was, but I'm just thinking that as opposed to a lot of the armor pieces that we have that are functional armor pieces that are designed to be armor. We have here purifier robes that are largely ceremonial in their original design, and then they were later adapted.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I completely follow what you're saying. Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I didn't think about that, because what would, in a ceremonial process, what would be the point?
Mm-hmm. Well, we wear a lot, even in today's society, for ceremony that's just pointless. Well,
I mean, I'm sorry, that came out
all kind.
Right, that came out wrong. But I mean, like, because the ceremony that I would imagine these robes in particular being referred to is a heavily personal one, right? Because it's their purification, it's the individual's purification. Not to mention, in a ceremony, you don't really want to disorient the people who are there with you. That kind of seems like a weird thing to do. But maybe the other thing is the icon for Burn Brighter. Just bugs me because it's wings. And I can't help but the Seraphim connection.
Or Angel of Fire.
No, Seraphim. Seraphim.
Well, no,
I mean
that's a perk in the Sunsinger tree.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the entire Sunsinger is
let me hang in the air so you can see me better.
Yeah, Icarus.
Imperium Bellicose much. Let me. Do we want to move on to Starfire?
Yeah, let's move
Protocol?
on. Let's move on.
Yes, Starfire Protocol.
So, the tweed jacket, as it were. Starfire Protocol. 13.4 billion years ago, the first stars kindled out of darkness, seeding the future of all life. I love that they have the actual date. That's good. Who's been keeping up with that? What are the perks on this bad boy?
There is a single exotic perk, and it is called Starfire Protocol, and all it does is give you an additional fusion grenade. Whoopity-doo.
Let's not go too crazy here.
Well, it's like giving you an additional kill, right?
Well, I mean, the nice thing is that for PvE is you can use Viking Funeral with your fusion grenades and still have two. So other than that, it's kind of a very lackluster perk. It'd be nice if it gave you something else, different perk from the perk tree. But
do you know what's weird? We did the Hunter episode with like 3 hunters, and we were all like really jazzed about all our perks on all our armor. We do one with the Titan. You've been really salty about most of your armor.
Warlock, but
that's because most of our armor is like
I don't know. Either way,
meh. Well, I'm just speaking from actual usability. It's like I said, I can count on
Warlock. Warlock, please correct that. Please.
please don't offend people. No. So here's an interesting thing that I just I just looked at this because it's been bugging me. So the flavor text, just guys jump in here if you know where I'm going with this. The flavor text is 13.4 billion years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the common timeline of the formation of the universe, the Big Bang Theory, kind of places the metric expansion of space to be an estimated 13.8 billion years ago. Today.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that number go down?
Because Starfire Protocol is really 400 million years old.
Ooh.
Or 300 million years old, if I'm doing my math right. 300?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, no, well, yeah, 400. It'd be 400. No, you might be right. Tired. I don't know. But, right? Like, what?
Okay. Not long ago, last year.
So
wait. I got you. I got you right here, Blue. No, I got you right here. Last year, the Hubble telescope saw a galaxy 13.4 billion years in the past. And that was the previous distance record foreseeing into the galaxy.
Oh, you think it's just a date?
Okay, I could.
You think
I could see
okay,
that.
That can't be a coincidence.
No, especially considering it was added with
Yeah, no, that makes more
Dark
sense.
Below. Yeah.
Because I literally just Google searched 13.4 billion years. And
There we
that
go.
was, I'm just, you're inside the actor studio right now. I'm letting you know my process. I literally
Guys,
just
yet
Googled
again,
13.4
Justin has
billion
proved
years.
Blue wrong.
Yeah. And that's the distance records.
I was looking up like the Big Bang Theory. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's like something close to that. I was like 13.8. Wait, hang on.
Wait, did I miss something?
Did I miss something?
Is Blue going to give me that one?
Yeah, I'm going to give you that one. That makes sense.
Nice.
Justin won.
Yeah.
Blue.
You can hear the dry erase marker on the board.
And all of a sudden I felt as if a whole galaxy of people screamed out and then were silenced.
Oh my god.
So do we want to move on to the Gary Busey vestments?
Oh, the other
You will
reason why I
dream
hate
of
them.
teeth and nothing else. Scratch behind a buckle. The Void Fang vestments. I'm sorry. Yeah. So this
You didn't
this
say it
was
with nearly
very
enough
weird.
gusto.
You will dream of teeth.
will dream of teeth and nothing else.
Thank you, Pins. That's a slow clap. This one, I don't know. What do you guys make of this one?
It looks
I
like a
can
draw.
never make I can never make heads or tails of this one. I always want to lump it into an Ahamkara type vibe, but it's probably not. What do you think?
It looks like a pirate dress.
I
agree.
right, Mel? Doesn't it?
Well, the
It
little
actually-
gold part in the front looks like a cravat.
Yeah, yeah. But the
I
back,
always
if
thought
you look at the
this one
back,
looked a lot like the oh, what the heck was it? The chess piece from Crota's End.
You're gonna have to help me out.
yeah,
on
I'm
this one.
good. I'm like, what?
Ooh, you know how the Crota's End gear made a warlock look like a wizard?
Oh, no! It was an ear Ute piece, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think so. I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, I always thought it looked like that. And Dream of Teeth and nothing else. You know, clearly this person's been hanging out with the hive a little too much.
Yeah. Honestly, I have issue with most of the Crota's End gear because it just, especially the Titan, it just tended to make you look like a white dog turd. Just
To be fair, that was a lot of armor.
like just like
Continue.
a petrified piece of dog.
Thrallscat.
Thrallscat, yes, confirmed. Give me a weave up. Give it up. So I think that is as serious as discussion of the Void Fang vestments as we're
Yeah.
gonna get.
the perk. They used to be improved Axion, but I guess they updated it to being Hungering Void. And this one gives you a full grenade energy when you respawn, and also Axion Bolt Grenade spawns an additional Seeker.
Yeah,
That's
this is another great one for PvP and or trials in general. Every
That
time
grenade.
you die and respawn, you have full grenade.
That grenade has a specific set of skills.
Mm-hmm.
Liam Neeson!
And I can track all three of you guys.
Not with
for
Shade
days.
Step.
Yeah,
I don't know,
I'll let you
man.
kill me
I
and come back
changed
with
my
grenades.
address and got a burner phone, and the Liam Neeson still found me.
That's because he followed the trail from your shaved off beard.
Oh, the
Zing.
trail of whiskers. The trail of whiskers. Oh no,
The Trail of Whiskers.
Solid burn, Mel. Solid burn.
it's a solid burn. Even though it was adversarial to my position, I appreciated
sorry.
it.
I adore you.
Yeah, I know that about most people.
It's the voice. It's the voice of the flower. You can't say no.
Rip Van, just insane.
Oh, come on, guys. So I think that actually gets through everything. And I would say now we could move on to the portion where we get to the after show and act really silly, but we've already done that.
Wait, there's a portion where we shouldn't act silly?
Yeah.
There was, but Justin ruined it.
Failed that test.
Yay.
Yay. Cake for everyone.
Cake for everyone.
Cake is a lie.
All right. You want to roll to shoutouts?
Did we have a dispatch? Or are we good?
Did we want to do a dispatch? You guys good for dispatch?
Let's do the dispatch.
All
Yeah, we
right.
did dispatch.
Dispatches from the wilds.
All right. Well, we got one from Julian, and Mel, is that the one that I think you're thinking of?
Yes, the one you sent me in regards to a drawing a listener sent in.
Yeah. There's that one, and then I think included in that one is also the spin foil theory that he had.
Yes. Did you want me to read all of it, or did you want me just to address the part that pertained?
How about I read the spin foil part, and then we'll jump to your part.
Perfect. That sounds great.
Okay, cool. All right, so Julian says, "Hello, Focus Fire. I come to you with Warlock spindle foil because apparently Warlocks don't." Okay. First, the astrocyte verse turning your head into brain sparklers. And he spells your YOR.
Yeah, I think that was deliberate.
Yeah, no, it was. I believe is opposite in the Obsidian Mind. The Obsidian Mind would turn your brain blank into the void, and that is why you can pull from the void with the Nova Bomb more effectively. You siphon the destruction of your enemies to fuel more destruction in like the Embrace of the Voidberg with grenades. The Ophidian aspect, I believe, is an experiment from Mr. Osiris. It having snakes wrapped around it looks very Osiris-like, but the material it is made out of looks like the one that the Vex are made out of. Super spin foil is that the Vex metal flesh wrapped around your arm speeds up time around it. That's why you have quick draw and reload on everything. Time is just sped up for your hands. So,
Very
Justin,
cool.
go.
I love that there are tiers of spin foil in this dispatch. Like there's like if you pay just a little bit more, you can get the ultimate platinum spindle foil. No. Man, there's a whole lot there. The Dregden Yor implications are definitely interesting. To go with that, you kind of have to subscribe to the school of thought that there's a chance he could have not been a hunter.
They do keep showing him as a warlock. Or every time they post something about Dregden or Thorn, it's a warlock.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
That's because he's a hunter who saw the light.
Those are fighting words.
Yeah. Actually, no, Mel. That's a hunter I'll give them.
This is true.
I'm not too concerned.
You can
they try,
have him.
They try to take Jaren or Cade from us, I'll be upset. But that's one I'll let go.
Because you warlocks like to have your whole entire batch crazy. So take the crazy, put him in your corner.
Tolan much?
Like
I'm not naming names, but
yeah.
I still like to picture Tolan screaming the Ascendant Realm. What did you do?
I can see him kind of walking around, like kind of shaking back and forth a little bit at this point.
Like a caged tiger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like a really mad John Lithgow. No, I like the Vex's metal flesh wrapped around your arm, speeds up time around it.
That actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that part of it is my favorite part of it. Yeah. Any thoughts, Coed?
Fitting aspect being an experiment from Osiris. I could see it. It's plausible, but there's not much to back it up. That's a total spin foil
there's
theory
not.
for sure.
It's not. Best armor piece ever is the Hunter arm from year 2 trials with the Cobra knife.
Turn
Just
your
gonna throw that out there.
to the
No,
void.
that's not. That's like Shelly is the biggest FU to nature ever. It's like, oh, you're a living beetle. You're a living beetle.
Not only that-
You live on my arm now. My arm is your ecosystem.
Not only that, that beetle is big enough to eat most people.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Intimidating.
But we live together in perfect symbiosis, Coed.
Yeah.
You're damn right. I love that.
He whispers
He
sweet
grants
little
me-
nothings into my ears.
Yeah, Gideon mind turning your mind blank into the void. I don't agree with that because I have my own theory on the void.
I don't have any
And
problem doing that.
It doesn't work with that at all.
Justin.
I do like Vex's metal flesh speeding top time around you.
That's my
Yeah.
favorite part of this. I think
That's
we can all
super
think
cool. I
Same.
like that.
that is the that's the
And
shining
brain
point.
sparklers. I'm going to
Brain
take
sparklers.
Verse.
That's what we should be taking
and
away from this is brain sparklers and
I'm
metal.
just gonna run around the tower and just like find the most ridiculous emote I can.
Do
Scam
tiny dance.
Guardians.
Tiny dance with brain sparklers.
No, you could actually, if you're going to do the brain sparklers, I think you need to do the nana nana boo boo. I think that works best.
I do have that one.
That's special.
That's special.
That's special.
All right, Mel, you
That's
want
a
to?
special kind of stupid.
Yes. So Julian was really awesome, and he or she sent in a really cool drawing of their version of what they think Toland would look like.
What?
Yeah, I'll
yes.
send it to you guys.
It's really cool. It's actually really, really cool. So, and they were wondering if what my thoughts are on like what he or she had drawn for like what they did. So those of you who obviously can't see it, hopefully, Blue, you're gonna put a link to this in. You want to message him and ask him?
Yeah, I just got to figure out where I'm going to put the link. I will do what I can. I might put it in the Discord chat.
Okay.
And link it to
yeah.
my
Ask him if it's okay to post it, so that way people can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Or I could tweet it and pin it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he wants that many people seeing it. I don't know if it's like
No, it's only like 10 people. It would be cool.
So, Justin, there's this magical thing called the internet, and once you put things on the internet, it stays out there forever.
I've got some things to clean up. I'll catch you guys next week.
Anyways, continuing on. So, what I really, really love about this is they actually made the costume half and half, which I think is really, really awesome because it goes into the duality between his former life as a guardian and his life as we see him now, or that he sees himself as now. And so when you look at it, the left half of his body has robes that look very similar to like a normal Warlock robe. I can't tell if they're actually one of the exotics. It might be. I'm not 100%. Maybe Julian, can you confirm or deny that? If it's supposed to be one of the exotic robes or something along those nature. But what is really cool is that it's actually worn down. So like the armor down on his shin is actually worn down. It's starting to break away. The cloth actually has some tears and stuff on it. And on the opposite side, he actually has replaced half of his cloak with what looks like to me similar to the cloaks that you see on the wizards almost.
Mhm.
And it has a bunch of the writing and like a lot of the God, what do you want to call them? Runes, I guess.
Runes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like a lot of
Glyphs.
the runes and glyphs that you see within the hive-ness around, the dreadnought and stuff of that nature. And I thought that was really interesting as kind of his way of maybe camouflaging himself within the rest of the hive-ness. So that you kind of say like, I'm a pillar. Yes, I'm a pillar in the Ascendant realm. Don't look at me. I'm not an actual former guardian. I thought that was really, really cool. I would love to see a lot more of shapes on the hiveness that look more like maybe like someone like the wizard robes or something along those lines. I like that he has a book in his hand. So
I was going to say that's my favorite part.
That's my favorite part too. So he didn't state whether or not if this is Tolan after the failed raid or before the failed raid. So, but either way, I would imagine Tolan had his journal from when he was a guardian, and now he's keeping his journal from wherever he is now. So it works either way. Like, I think that is really, really awesome. And the fact that he has a helmet on that looks like basically a skull from a hive. Yeah. So it almost looks like a thrall. A little bit like, does it look like a thrall?
I thought it was
might
the
be skull of Amkara.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Is it Amkara?
I think.
Okay, yeah, I can see the Amkara.
It's got the two little ridges.
Yeah.
And then like the split jaws.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
So this
I
would
can totally see that.
This would have to be before failed raid, because after failed raid, he didn't have one of these. He didn't have a body anymore.
The other interesting thing is, and Mel, did you talk
Rejection.
Did you talk about the shoulder kind of having the stag?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had not gotten to that point yet. But yes. So he has on the pauldron for the gauntlet on the guardian half of the outfit looks very reminiscent of the stag helmet. It actually looks like there's stag horns that are coming out. And like what we discussed earlier about how the stag helmet obviously puts a lot of play on the fact that you are the lone person in your fire team. You are now going stag to all these different things. It's really interesting because he is alone. He is going into a whole entire realm that guardians or humans or whatever told it. Was Tolan human? Does we even know that?
No, that's an assumption.
Yeah,
that's an assumption, but it's not confirmed.
Okay, so so he's the first being, I guess, light being that has gone to the darkness, which is really interesting. And he also has, instead of any weapon that we are familiar with in game, he's carrying a staff, which I think is really interesting. It also still signifies that he's still fighting of some nature, but maybe not on the sense that we fight. We're not we're fighting to like really put a dent in these guys. Like this feels more like a weapon of self-defense. It could also be an implement for him to gather energy or something. It looks like kind of like a mage staff, I guess is the best way to describe it. So, but overall, I think it's really badass. So Julian, that's awesome. Keep it up. Keep up the art. Keep up the artness. Keep on doing your interpretation of these cool characters that we actually have no freaking clue what they look like. If someone wants to send in stuff about like, Dragon Yor and all these other characters that we love to talk about, and send in what you think they look like. Yeah, I would love to talk about it. So thank you, Julian. Thank you for sending it in. It's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'll email him and ask him if he's okay or she's okay with us posting that. Hopefully they are, because it's a really good sketch. I really liked looking at it.
Yeah, they put a lot of thought into it, and there's a lot of different levels and stuff going on in it, and I think it's really cool. I think it shows that this they take a lot of account into the different lore and what makes up Tolan besides just the, like the straight story of him, like what makes Tolan and what makes him tick. So yeah.
Crazy.
One has lots of ticks.
Yeah, he probably does.
Crazy makes him tick.
Hiveness makes him tick.
Way to go, Mel. I missed that. Yeah. So do we want to roll the shout outs?
Yeah. Coed? How about it, Coed?
I've got a couple shout outs. First one is to my clan, DoD Military. We're going to be starting to do a lot of stuff with stackup.org, case you guys don't know it, they are a non-for-profit that does a lot of stuff for vets and vet families that send them care packages and whatnot. They're really cool. They're awesome. Also, shout out to Rabbit Hole Radio, the new podcast. We're about to record our next episode tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. That should be out either Sunday or Monday, depending on when I can sit down and actually edit it.
Nice.
And that's it.
Awesome. Mel, what about you?
I don't have too many shoutouts this week. It's awesome to be back. So yay. Hopefully I don't get that crazy. Well, luckily friend weddingness is all over now. So, but also congratulations to my clan mates on getting them married, since we kind of all bonded over Destiny. So Destiny and us hold a very special place. And as always, thank you guys for having me on the show, and Coed, thanks for being here. It's really awesome to have other people on and get their get their perspective on stuff that we talk about.
Well, you're welcome.
You no problem, buddy.
Justin, what about you?
Where can I start?
Oh boy.
Big shout out to N64 Josh for joining some people last week for earlier this week for the extra lore on Zelda. I unfortunately had a sleeping appointment that I could not miss, and missed that. So definitely you guys, if you're looking for good Destiny and other gaming content, check out N64 Josh on Twitter at lootgaming.com, I think is his website.
Loot Cave.
Also Loot Cave. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. He's got a lot of different places to view. So also big shout out to Coed and all of Rabbit Hole Radio. Check them out. I know I will be, and if I don't get a guest spot on that soon, I will burn this place to the ground.
It's gonna be a little bit.
No pressure. No pressure, bro.
Sure.
That means you better act ASAP.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And big shout out to Scrappy Doo from chat. I jumped in with him and his crew the other day, ran some custom games, and had a great time. Good group of peeps. And Mel getting married. They grow up so fast.
I'm not that young. I really am not that young.
I wasn't gonna cry.
Thank you.
And then lastly, but certainly not leastly, Green-Eyed, who couldn't be here tonight because adultly type duties. Really looking forward to seeing you back here for some beard commentary next week. So that's it.
You're still mad that. All right, anyways, email topic. So email topic.
Good.
Email topic for next week is going to be the Titan exotic armor. So we should wrap up all of exotic armors next week. Yeah, I'm surprised we ran through them so fast. And then yes, Dubba in chat.
Titan.
Beards confirmed for Destiny 2. See, Justin.
Dubba!
See, Justin. That's how we should. That, anyways, we got an email also that was actually not related to this week's episode, so we didn't read it. But it's from user Galaxis37. I wanted two things. First off, two things. I forgive you for your mistaken idea that warlocks are the master class. So you're okay. I forgive you for that. But also, I wanted to say thank you for your thought on the future war cult shaders. I'm going to be looking into that. He actually was responding to the future war cult episode that we had, in which I kind of made a comment about we couldn't figure out, or we couldn't think of what the numerical values after the shaders were. Galaxis actually pointed out that it could possibly be an error code. And he gave me a couple examples to hunt down. So I'm going to be looking into that when I get a chance. My professional life has gotten a little bit hectic recently with all the projects for the new year. So as soon as I get a chance, I'm going to be looking into that. But I really appreciate it, and it's a really, really good idea, actually. So, yeah. So I think that is actually everything. You guys got anything else?
Like my glass.
IR Hunter.
Excuse you? What was that? Huh?
Titan!
You me outside. Let's go.
Snap you with my melee.
Yeah, you will actually. Actually, you probably will. That is not cool, bro. That is not cool.
Not cool.
It's
Not
cool. I'll snipe you with my sniper.
Sniper, no sniping.
Sniper, no sniping.
So no, you guys don't have anything else other than the argument?
No.
Okay.
Nothing concrete, Blue. Nothing concrete, but we're working on it.
We're cats. You need to herd us in now.
Here we go.
Come
With
on,
that,
Rand.
we'll begin to wrap the chat up. Thank you again to those over on Twitch for coming to spend your evening with us. If you'd like to join us, please be sure to give us a follow over on twitch.tv/focusfirechat. Links to all our sites can also be found with our episode archives over on www.focusfirechat.com. Thank you again, Coed, for jumping into the chat. I'll be putting those links into our show note for anyone who would like to continue this conversation with you. Please be sure to email us at focusfirechat@gmail.com with any feedback or questions for us concerning the podcast, and let us know how we're doing by giving us some feedback on iTunes or through email as well. Be sure to check out our partner podcast within the Guardian Radio Network over on the guardiansofdestiny.com. So, until next time, focus your fire, and may your light shine bright.